well. So what's on the bench today? A box of bits that belong in the trash. Seriously. EVA foam, yogurt bottles, plastic lids. You know, to be truthful, this is probably Greta Thunberg's worst nightmare. But as the saying goes, one man's trash is another man's trash. I probably won't use all this, but for now I'll start with this gutted radio as the base for my build. So you know what that means. Let's start scratching that build. As I said, this non-working radio will act as the main body for the spaceship, but not until I give it a little sand down using the other half's nail sanding files. Yes, I ran out again, so had to borrow some equipment from the other half. Let's take a deep dive into this bit box and see what we have. This is a broken smoke alarm, kindly sent to me by Spider-Math. Go check him out, link in the description. If you were to pause the video and look carefully, he actually wrote on it UFO. I'm hoping he meant an alien spaceship and not what I think he means. Nevertheless, I'm not going to use it as a flying saucer, but I'm going to incorporate it on this spaceship and I'm going to stick it directly on like this. Not thinking ahead, because that's what I don't do. One problem solved, but about 3 more created. I now have a hole that will need attending to. And as luck would have it, this sweet container fits perfectly in the hole, so I'm going to use that as the front end. And if anybody's thinking that doesn't look right, then I'll retort with this question. How do we know? Spaceships come in all different shapes and sizes, admittedly not made with sweet containers and hot glue, but let's switch off that rational side of our brain for the next 10 minutes or so and just go with it. These inhaler things gifted by another viewer will look great as space engines. I'll just stick them here as I have absolutely no idea how this plan is going to go, and I'm just going with what's looking good so far. Next from the box, 2 used sad looking water pistols that look like they had a fight with the Milky Bar Kid. Only viewers over a certain age will get that reference. I had to look it up. First, I'll have to do a bit of corrective surgery on these pistols. I'm going to cut them down using my hacksaw. This plastic is terrible, but if I'm careful enough, they should make it to the other side. Fun fact, this build came about because I had 2 other projects on the go in various stages of completion, and this was just an hour of just doing this little spaceship that kind of came out alright in the end. With the main body starting to take shape, another dive into the box to find, well, 2 yogurt bottles and 2 spray bottle lids. These will work. These look like 2 small engines once I've taken them apart, and if I put them in the bottles, now they become bigger engines. EVA foam, my favourite go-to stuff to cover a multitude of sins. I'm going to cut these down into rectangles and use them as heat shields on the engines. This is the back of one of those smelly things you dot around your home when you have guests coming round, you know, to mask all the smells. They last about a day, then you buy more until you become immune to the smell, but visitors go away overloaded with nostril burn from the powerful lilac and satin sheet smell you have wafting around your home. What I'm trying to say is the back of this looks like a vent, and I'll just stick it on as an engine for the spaceship. Sorry, I may have gone on a little Quentin Tarantino rant there. Where are we on this build? Yes, greeblies. I'm just going to greebly up the front of this smoke alarm and leave it like that. That is a spray bottle top. Looks like some sort of space ray sort of thing, and I'm just going to glue it right there. Yes, this spaceship is totally out the box and not looking like any spaceship I've ever built before. And sometimes on projects like this, it's good to disengage the brain and just go with the flow and just don't think or like overthink things and just stick things down left, right and centre like these. These are supposed to be cargo little boxes that I never got round to building, and I'm just going to use them as panelling. And then that is just a wheel that I put some EVO foam strips around just to make it look like something else. You see, all these little small parts have been added with other little bits to make something different. Lego, or like Lego. I'm actually doing air quotes while I say like Lego. You know, maybe I should do a video of me doing a voiceover so you can see how articulate my arms are while I'm talking. You know, I probably look like Boris Johnson trying to break out of a wet paper bag, while the opening is clearly signpost, exit, and flailing around miserably. Again, I'm sorry, I went on another rant. I just don't know what's wrong with me this morning. Maybe I'm suffering from the night before when I drank a whole bottle of Malbec wine while watching A Murder in Venice. And here's a spoiler for everybody that hasn't watched it yet. There's more than one murder. That's all I'm going to say. And the reason why I drank the whole bottle of wine was to get me through the film. It wasn't that good. Good grief, the ship is primed already. Now, this is where things went pear-shaped. I'd run out of grey and black primers, so used what I thought was matte green, only for it to come out gloss green. At this point, I thought I could use the airbrush to tone the glossy colour down, but that was on a go slow recharging, so I went old school and put some go faster stripes on it. Deciding I need to add some colour, I used a wolf grey paint to the bridge of the ship. For other parts of the ship and the little windows on the bridge, I used some Ron Burgundy paint. And I think my past 4 or 5 videos has just been me with the airbrush, and it's amazing how fast you get used to something and then forget how to paint. So I was kind of reteaching myself how to paint little delicate things again with the paintbrush. I used black for all the pipe work, which wasn't a lot because I'd restrained myself from putting a lot of pipe work on. After everything had dried, it was time to peel off slowly, very slowly, the Go Faster stripes just to make sure, and damn it, I pulled some of the paintwork off. That's not a problem because I can patch that up very easily without respraying it the rattle can green. I went back in with the black just to paint all the panels, just a black, and then I'll do a dry brush of silver over them just to bring out the highlights. Now it's time to readdress that little chip. Years ago, I would have freaked out at this and would have scrapped the entire project because I wouldn't have known how to fix it. Now I know because it's easy, you just paint over it. So I just put a black stripe all the way around that bit just to cover up the red, and that was done. Again, I've got a smudge mark here of grey paint, which I'm just going to paint over it. Now these would have freaked me out years ago, and it was only until recently when I realised that I can paint over stuff because nobody knows that that paint shouldn't be there. So everything, what I'm trying to say is every problem is fixable with just a bit of paint, and you don't have to explain why you put that paint there because nobody can tell you any different. Again, once all the paint has dried, I'll just go back in using a wettish dry brush, just applying the silver on top of the black just to bring out the paneling. Then I had an idea for piping. I'm just going to use this armature wire just to break down some more of the green, and I'm just going to put some piping around the spaceship, not a lot, just a little bit, Don't overdo it, because at the moment it's looking alright. Well, to me it looks alright. Might still be too glossy for everybody, but for me, for a project which was just a side project, I think it's come out alright. After all that, I went back in with weathering powders just to tone everything down. Use black, grey, rust colour, green even, and that's how I turned a 2-hour project into this funny looking spaceship. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate all your support. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And until next time, keep scratching that build, everybody.